Hello, this video is for IXL Activity A1.C.4 titled Unit Prices. The 3-character code for this activity is Juliet Hotel Alpha. So our first question says an 8-pack of golf balls costs $5.60. What is the unit price? Or that is to say, how much is it for just one golf ball? Well, in the past we've done problems similar to this. It was in unit rates, and we solved unit rates by setting proportions up. Remember that a proportion is like A is to B as C is to D, right? So in this case, we're going to say X number of dollars is to X number of golf balls as X number of dollars is to just one golf ball, right? Because we need to find out how much is it for just one golf ball. So they're telling us that it's $5.60 for 8 golf balls. So how much is it, the unknown value of X, for just one golf ball? Well, in this case, in order for these ratios to be equal to one another, we have to consider what do we do to 8 to get to 1? To go from 8 to 1 in the denominator, well, we had to divide by 8. And if we divide $5.60 by 8 as well, then we're going to come up with 0.70, or that is to say 70 cents. So it's 0.7 or 70 cents per golf ball. And again, this is done through setting up a proportion. Notice that I left my dollars were both in the numerator. The denominator were both golf balls, so I want to keep my measurements in the same position. If I'm going to have dollars up top, I want dollars up top, and if I have golf balls at the bottom, I want golf balls at the bottom as well. And just like we talked about with unit rates, since we're getting to a denominator of 1 in the second ratio, the one on the right that we have set up in our proportion, since we want to get to a value of 1, we have to divide the denominator by itself. And what you do to the denominator, you have to do to the numerator as well. So if you're wondering, well, gee, can I just divide 5.6 by the 8, and I would have came up with the answer, right? So indeed, that would be the case. So let's look at the next problem. An 8-pack of erasers cost $3.68. What is the unit price? Or how much is it for just one eraser? So let's go ahead and set that up. We'll go ahead with $3.68 for 8 erasers. We'll do 8E for erasers. And we want to know that is equal to how much money for just one eraser in this case. So we would have to divide by 8 to get from 8 to 1. So let's divide $3.68 by 8 as well. And if I do 3.68, divide that by 8, I'm going to get a result of 0.46. So it's going to be 0.46 or 46 cents per eraser. On the next question, it says, which is the better buy? So we're going to have to find unit prices for each of these examples and then select the one that has the lower unit price. So starting off with the first one, we have 3, well, let's put the price at the top. We kind of put, so for it is $6.33 for 3 kilograms. So remember, we're going to go ahead and divide the numerator by the denominator. So instead of setting up a proportion here, I'm just going to go ahead and do the 6.33 and divide that by 3, and I'm going to get $2.11 for 1 kilogram. That was by dividing the numerator by the denominator. So over here, it's going to be $2.11 for 1 kilogram. Or actually, we could just put, instead of that, let's just do per kilogram. Don't need the 1 there. Then for the next one, let's do $14.63. And that is for 7 kilograms. So let's go ahead and divide 14.63 by 7. 14.63. Divide that by 7, and we come up with $2.09 per kilogram. So $2.09 per kilogram. And it wants to know which one's the better buy, that is to say which one is the lowest cost. So it would be our second selection. Next question, 2-pack of ice cream sandwiches for $1.46 or a 9-pack of ice cream sandwiches for $6.84. So let's go ahead and take that $1.46, and that is for a 2-pack, or well, let's just say let's put S for sandwiches, and then divide $1.46, divide that by 2, and that would be 73 cents per sandwich. So each one over here is costing 73 cents. 73. That's not a very good look. 73 is. Let's go ahead and erase that, fix that. Try to write the 3 first. There we go. And then for the 9-pack, it is $6.84 per 9 sandwiches. So let's go ahead and divide that 6.84. Divide that by 9, and we're going to get 76. So 0.76 per sandwich. So each one of these, if we buy the 9-pack, is costing us 76 cents. The better buy is the first choice. Next, we have a 5-pack of tickets to the zoo for $21.60. So $21.60 will get you 5-pack of tickets to the zoo. 5T for tickets. Let's go ahead and do 21.60. And we're going to divide that by 5. And that's going to give us $4.32 per ticket. So $4.32. And on the next one, let's work that one out. We get $30.32, and that's going to get us 7 tickets. So let's go ahead and divide 30.32. We'll divide that by the 7. Because remember, every fraction is a denominator. Every fraction is a division problem. So that's going to give me, looks like $4. I got to round it. $4.33. 4.33 because it goes 1, 4, 2, etc. But $4.33. All right. So actually, I almost said the second choice. The first choice is a better buy by a penny. Looking at the next problem, we have that a 5-pound bag of lollipops costs $4.23. What is the unit price? And round it to the nearest cent. So they want to know how much per pound. So right now we have $4.23, and that is for 5 pounds. The LBS for pounds. Let's go ahead and divide 4.23. 4.23. We're going to divide that by 5. And we get 0.846. And they want us to round it to the nearest cent. Well, and cents is the hundreds place, right? So we have to find out, is this 4 going to stay a 4 or should it become a 5? Well, 4 or less, let it rest. That means that the number next to it is 4 or less. We're going to let the 4 stay a 4 and let it rest at 4. But if it's 5 or more, we're going to raise the score. So since this number here is a 6, to the left of that, that means that we're going to have to raise that 4 up to a 5. And that's going to be 0.85. So it's going to be 85 cents per pound. Next question, an 8-pack of bandages cost $1.47. What is the unit price? Round it to the nearest cent. So let's do $1.47. And that is for 8. We'll do B for bandages. Now let's divide 1.47. Divide that by 8. 8 bandages involved there. And we are going to get 0.18375. 18375. But we need to round it to the nearest cent. So cents is going to be at this place value here, at the hundredths place. If we look to the right, this number's a 3, so that's 4 or less. So we're going to let the 8 rest. So we're going to end up with 0.18. Okay, now we're going to have some unit conversion involved here. So first, let's go ahead and read the question first. It says, 16 pint container of disinfectant for $11.36, or a 6 quart container of disinfectant for $11.64. Well, notice that one's asking for pints, the other one's asking for quarts. Which is less, a pint or a quart? A pint is. So let's go ahead and convert quarts over to pints first, all right? So I've got this graphic here. I've always found this to be a pretty helpful graphic. It wasn't until I started teaching math. I used to have a problem with understanding pints and cups, and I knew that there were 4 quarts in a gallon, etc. But once I got to pints and cups, I wasn't quite sure. So this graphic works pretty good. The big G represents a gallon. And then inside of a gallon are 4 Qs, or that is to say 4 quarts. And inside of each quart are 2 pints. And notice that inside of each pint are 2 cups. So we need to go to pints, and we need to compare it to 6 quarts. Therefore, we're going to need a conversion factor. So let's go ahead and talk about a conversion factor. Let's start off with the number 6 quarts. And I'm going to represent 6 quarts as a fraction, just call it 6 quarts over 1. Any value over 1 is still equal to itself. So I've not changed the 6 quarts from anything. It's still 6 quarts. I just wrote it as a fraction. Now, we're going to multiply that times a conversion factor in which quarts is going to be at the bottom so that they'll cancel out. I want quart in the numerator and quarts in the denominator so that those units, that I can do some unit cancellation to cancel those out. Now, up here, we're going to go ahead and put pints. Now I need a conversion factor. Conversion factor is a ratio in which the numerator and the denominator are in different measurements, but it has a value of 1. That means that the amount in the numerator is going to be equal to the amount in the denominator. So with that said, let's go ahead and consider in each quart, how many quarts are there? In every 1 quart, how many pints are there? Well, we see that there are 2 pints inside of the Q here. There are 2 P's. So there are 2 pints in a quart. So we can go ahead and do some cancellation here. Quarts is going to cancel quarts. Notice that that just leaves us with pints, which works well, right? Pints. And that works great because we're trying to get to pints. We want to convert quarts to pints. So the fact that pints is left is perfect. 6 times 2 is 12. And 1 times 1 is 1, and any number over itself is any number over 1 is equal to itself. So we're talking about 12 pints here. We took 6 quarts, run it through a conversion factor, did the multiplication, and we found out that that 6 quarts is the same as 12 pints. Now that we're working with pints compared to pints, now let's go ahead and do our regular math that we've been doing, like we had in the other problems. So for $11.36, we can get 16 pints. And the other one we're going to compare that to is $11.64 for 12 pints. So I'm guessing that the first one's going to be cheaper because we have more pints, right? And I guess I'll put PT for pints. There we go. So with that said, let's go ahead and do our calculations here. 11.36, and we're going to divide that by 16. And that is going to give us a cost of 71 cents, 0.71 cents for a pint. So the first one, 0.71 or 71 cents. On the second one, we're going to do 11.64 and divide it by 12, and we're going to get 97. So 0.97, 97 cents per pint. So here we have 0.97. So it appears to be that our first choice is going to be the correct choice, the cheaper one. Let's look at the next one. A 2-quart carton of apple juice cost $1.76. What is the price per cup? So the answer is supposed to be for cups, but they give us quarts. So in this case, we need to first take 2 quarts, and we're going to convert that to cups. And let's go ahead and put quarts down here so it'll cancel. In 1 quart, Well, let's do this. In 1 quart, we know that there are, because think about the image here, right? We have quarts here. Let's get the pints, and then let's get the cups. So I'm going to use a couple different conversion factors here. So inside of 1 quart are 2 pints. Now I'm going to use another conversion factor. I'm going to put pints down here because I've already got it in the numerator. Now I want it in the denominator. I want them to cancel. And then that's going to get me to cups. Inside of every 1 pint, there are 2 cups. All right. So now we can do some cancellation. Quarts cancels quarts. Pints will cancel pints. All we have left is cups, which is good. That's what I want to get to. And I guess I'll leave that in the numerator for now. I'll kind of keep putting that there for now instead of taking a shortcut. Now I have 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. Times 2 is 8. So that is 8 cups. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Anything over 1 is equal to itself. So in this case, it is 8 cups. So 2 quarts is equal to 8 cups. And we did all that because the question is asking us what is the price per cup, not quarts. So we had to do some conversions first. So with that said, let's go ahead and do that. That is $1.76 for 8 cups. Now let's go ahead and divide $1.76. We'll divide that by 8 and get 22 cents. 0.22 per cup. So 0.22 is our answer. The next one, a 4-cup bottle of wood polish costs $17.32. What is the price per pint? Well, pints are greater than cups, right? So let's go ahead and try our conversion rate first. We want this cups to be in pints because they're asking us about pints. So let's start off with that. So let's go 4 cups, and we're going to put that over 1 so we can do fraction times fraction. We want a conversion factor. We want cups at the bottom and pints at the top. Well, in 1 pint, we know that there are 2 cups. Remember the diagram there? In 1 pint, there are 2 cups. So we'll go ahead and go with that. Now, cups will cancel cups, and we're just left with pints, which is good because our question is asking for pints. 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. Now 4 divided by 2, we can simplify this, and we end up with 2 over 1, right? 2 pints. I just divided the numerator and the denominator by 2, and we end up with 2 pints. So 2 pints is equal to 4 cups. So let's go and put that there, 2 pints. So now that we have pints, we can go ahead and work out our problem. So $17, and that is not a 17, that's a 15. $17.32. And we want to divide that by, that is for 2 pints. And we want to know what is it for just 1 pint. So let's go ahead and do that. 17.32. Divide that by 2. And we're going to get $8.66 per pint. So $8.66 is our answer. On the next one, this is a comparison, so we're going to have to calculate both of them. First, we need to convert the greater measurement down to the smaller measurement. That's usually the easiest way. You could convert the smaller one. Those 32 cups right here, you could make it gallons if you wanted, but you probably end up with a decimal. So my advice is always take the larger measurement and convert it down to the smaller measurement. So cups is smaller than gallons, so let's go ahead and go with converting 3 gallons over to cups. So I have 3 gallons. I'll put this over 1. Multiply that times, put gallons in the denominator. 1 gallon has 4 quarts. Now let's get another conversion factor here. Quarts. And in a quart, the next smaller size down is what? Pints, right? We want to go to pints. And then let's get another conversion factor where we have pints here. And then we're going to convert to cups. Okay. Now I want to point out, notice what I'm doing? Gallons is in the numerator, so I put it in the denominator. And then I match up the other measurement, quarts. Now I'm going to also want to cancel quarts, so I put it since it's in the numerator. Next time I'm going to put it in the denominator. Then I'm converting to pints. Since pints is in the numerator, I'm going to put it in the denominator. And then I get to cups. So what's going to happen is, and first let's fill in our numbers here. So in 1 quart, there are 2 pints. And in 1 pint, there are 2 cups, right? So gallons is going to cancel gallons. Quarts will cancel quarts. Pint will cancel pints. And that's going to leave us with nothing but cups. And for the denominator, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is all going to be 1. Now I get 3 times 4 is 12, right? 3 times 4 is 12. And then this 2 times 2 is 4, so I'm going to multiply that times 4. And 12 times 4 is 48, right? 48, yep. 48 cups. And any number over 1 is equal to itself. So this is 48 cups. So I've converted 3 gallons to 48 cups. So now that I've done that, I'm going to get all this out the way so I can do my calculations here. And now let's go ahead and do our unit prices on this. So for $89.76, I can get 33 cups. And for $86.40, I can get 48 cups. So let's go ahead and do our division here. And 89.76, I'm going to divide that by 33, and that's going to give me $2.72. $2.72. $2.72. Now let's go ahead and do the $86.40 divided by 48. So 86.4. Going to divide that by 48, and that's going to give me 1.8, or that is to say $1.80. So the second one is $1.80. So in this case, you'd be better off to buy the 3-gallon bucket as opposed to the 33-cup bucket. On this one here, which is a better buy, 2-yard roll of wax paper for this much, or a 7-foot roll of wax paper for this much. Well, feet is smaller than yards. So let's convert 2 yards, and we're going to convert that over to feet. So we have yards here and feet here. In 1 yard, there are 3 feet, correct? Yards will cancel yards. Let's go ahead and multiply straight across. 2 times 3 is 6. We still have the measurement of feet. And 1 times 1 is 1, and any number over itself is equal to, any number over 1 is equal to itself. So we have 6 foot, right? So that was right here, 2 yards. 2 yards is the same as 6 feet. You probably could have done that without all that. If you know that there's 3 feet in a yard and there's 2 yards, then it would be 6 foot. Just wanted to go ahead and demonstrate it with conversion factors there. And so $5.46 for 6 feet. And we're going to compare that to $9.31 for 7 feet. And put our label there, feet. So 5.46 divided by 6 is going to equal 91, 0.91. So that is 0.91, 91 cent, and that is per foot. And down here, we got 9.31. Going to divide that by 7. And that's going to give me, well, big difference, 1.33. So that's $1.33 per foot. Notice that each of these is going to be per foot each time. So per FT. Okay. So as you do your calculations, it's you'll realize about the labels. And gee, how many I got these go? Wow. Okay. So 4-pound bag of bananas. What is the price per ounce? And I got most of these examples in because I want to be sure to cover each of these things. And many students would just go to Google and they do pounds to ounces and they type in 4 pounds and see how many ounces it is. And you could probably do that if you wanted. But on this case, I want to take pounds to ounces. So I'm going to go 4 pounds, LBS for pounds. And I want to get to ounces. Well, I want pounds at the bottom, so they'll cancel, right? In 1 pound, there are 16 ounces. If you've ever been at a grocery store, paid attention to food labels, you see it says 1 pound, and then in parentheses it says 16 ounces. I go to the grocery store enough, I guess, that that's honestly how I learned that 16 ounces to a pound, by looking at labels at the grocery store. So pounds will cancel pounds, and 4 times 16 should be 64, isn't it? 16 by 4 indeed is 64. So that's 64 ounces, right, over 1, and therefore it's just 64 ounces. Okay, so 4 pound bag, 4 pounds is equal to 64 ounces. And that's good because we need to know price per ounce. So with that said, let's go ahead and do that. $8.96 for 64 ounces. Let's go ahead and divide 8.96. We'll divide that by 64, and that's going to be 0.14. And so that is indeed 14 cents an ounce for bananas. Which is the better buy? Tons and pounds. Well, know that in 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds LBS. And I know this because I used to be a truck driver, so I would deal with tons and have to convert it over to pounds. So this should be a pretty easy conversion. If 1 ton is 2,000 pounds, that means that 4 tons is going to be 8,000 pounds, right? So instead of 4 tons, we got 8,000 pounds. So let's take $23,120 for 8,000 pounds LBS. And the other one is going to be $11,977.92. And that is for 4,159 pounds. So 120. Going to divide that by 8,000. 8 and 3 zeros. It's going to give me $2.89. $2.89. And that is per pound LBS. And the other one, 11,977.92. We're going to divide that by 4,000. Oh, go back. 4,159. And that's going to give us $2.88. $2.88 for a pound LBS. And so we had 2.89 compared to 2.88 is pretty doggone close, wasn't it? The second one's the correct choice. All right, final question. Which is the better buy? Ounces to pounds, right? That's what we're comparing, ounces to pounds. Remember how many ounces are in a pound? I told you that a little bit ago. 1 pound LBS is equal to how many ounces? If you're saying 16, you would be correct. So let's take 7 pounds LBS, put over 1, and I want pounds at the bottom so that they will convert. 1 pound has 16 ounces. Pounds will cancel pounds. 16 by 7 is going to give us 112. We have 112 ounces. And 1 times 1 is 1, so 112 ounces. So 7 pounds is equal to 112 ounces. So with pounds, ounces, yep, okay. For a moment I thought maybe I had it wrong. And now let's do $170.28 for how much? 387 ounces. And we're going to compare that to $51.52 for 112 ounces. We'll go ahead and do our division here. 170.28. We'll divide that by 387, and that's going to give us 44 cents. 0.44. 0.44 cents. And down at the bottom here, $51.52. We're going to divide that by 112, and we're going to get 0.46. So $1.46 for our second choice. Which is the better buy? It is indeed the first one. All right, so that concludes all of my examples for IXL A1.C.4 unit prices, and good luck with your activity.